Hi, it's Naveedaskar, and today I am going to discuss methods and ways of boosting your vocabulary and enhancing the pool of your idiomatic expressions. Actually, I am going to discuss two techniques in this lecture in order to achieve these two targets, vocabulary and idiomatic expressions. Primarily, I am going to deal with what idiomatic expression, but in the passing, I will also shed light on techniques of boosting what one's vocabulary. The first technique is everybody's famous situational learning. So, what I supposed to do is put the students in a situation and then make him or her parrot, cram and memorize those foreign words, those unfamiliar words. The second one is, while discussing the unfamiliar words in a sentence, I bombard the sentence with difficult words and make him or her memorize those sentences. So, what would be the benefit of memorizing those sentences? The first one is he or she has to encounter some unfamiliar words and he will be acquainted while memorizing those sentences. Not only one word or two words, there are 3 or 4 unfamiliar words which he has to memorize in a sentence. So, in this way, a student's vocabulary can be boosted, his pool of idiomatic expression can be increased, and idiomatic expression when it comes to O level is primarily used in narrative writing, descriptive writing to some extent, and especially in informal language. Idiomatic expressions, as I have discussed in my first lecture, that idiomatic expressions are one of the important hallmark of what informal language. Then in speech writing, because that also has some informal flavor in it. Then in account writing, though account writing is no more a part of what O-level exams. So, this is what the explanation, this is the rationale of my lecture, okay, what I have to do in this lecture. So, down to the business. The first sentence which I would like to discuss in this plan is what? The first one, when the teacher strutted out of the class. So, strutted out means when somebody marches out, someone who has authority, he goes, he walks. So, we use strutted out for that word. So, the one thing in the passing I would like to discuss is the student has to use rather action vocabulary in his in his essay or any kind of composition. So, he must have a storehouse of a lot of action verbs. So, strut out is an action verb, strut out. When the teacher strutted out of the class, all hell broke loose. So, this is an idiom, the first idiom which I am going to discuss in this lecture. When somebody says all hell broke loose, it means there was so much noise, there was so much arguments, there was so much ruckus. So, all hell broke loose as the students started cussing and abusing each other. Another unfamiliar words is what? Cussing. So, 3 words we faced in this first sentence. So, I have bombarded this sentence with 3 difficult words: strutted out, cussing. These are the pertaining to what? Vocabulary enhancement, vocabulary boosting. And this one is about the first idiom which I am going to discuss. All hell broke loose. All hell broke loose means when there is so much noise, when there is so much pandemonium, when there is so much arguments between the people. So this was the first sentence. I hope you memorize these words so that your vocabulary could be boosted. The second one is nothing can detain and restrain. So these are the two more words in this vocabulary booster. Nothing can detain and restrain. Both means what? Stop him from grabbing success because he has got ants in pants. This is the second idiom. When somebody has got ants in pants, it means he is very much excited. He is very much energetic to achieve something, and he is hell-bent to succeed. Hell-bent means he is sure to succeed. He is determined to succeed. So this was the second idiom. Ants in one's pants means he has those insects in his pants. The third sentence is he landed in trouble. So this is another expression in order to enhance your vocabulary. When you land in trouble, it means you are in the trouble. For his insolent behavior. So another word which I have placed in the sentence is insolent. Insolent means rude, haughty behavior, because insolent behavior is a recipe for disaster. So this is the third idiom which we are going to face in this lecture. When something is a recipe for disaster, it means you are inviting trouble, you are inviting disaster, you are inviting problems. As he frequently triggers ruckus in the class. Ruckus means what? Disagreement, noisy situations. The fourth sentence is don't slacken. Slacken means to become lazy, to become slow. So this is the part of what vocabulary. Actually, I am just accompanying two things in the lecture side by side: idiomatic expressions and vocabulary booster. So this word slacken is a part of what vocabulary booster. Don't slacken mean don't get lazy. Why? For we have to hit the road. So hit the road is an idiom. It means to start a journey. Again, as a success is just around the corner. This is another idiom. When something is just around the corner, it means it is very near. The next sentence is he is habitual of mislaying the things. Mislaying is when you forget after something you have placed somewhere. So he is habitual of mislaying the things. It means he keeps on mislaying the things, doesn't remember where he or she has placed that thing. He is habitual of mislaying the things, so he often has to rack his brain. So another idiom in this idiomatic exercise is what? Rack his brain. It means rack one's brain means to think hard. It means to put a lot of stress on one's mind so that he could remember where he or she has placed that thing, to find them again. The next is his is a success story. His is a success story worth emulating. So I inserted this word worth emulating so that the student could memorize it. Worth emulating means worth copying, so that they could ape, they could follow, they could copy his story. His is a success story worth emulating, for he went from rags to riches. Rag is when your dress is in tatters, it is worn out, and riches means when you have a lot of wealth. So this is an idiom, from rags to riches. It means from misery, from poverty to what? To riches. From when you are destitute and when you are in the limelight of what? Success. It means that he was a poor and now he is what? A wealthy person. So he is habitual of mislaying the things, so he often has, his is a success story worth emulating, for he went from rags to riches by dint of his hard work. By dint of his hard work, vocabulary booster. By dint of something, it means due to something. So due to his hard work, he is reaping success. and now he started when he started from the scratch, and now he is what at the top in the limelight, spotlight of what success. People are copying, imitating and following him. The next sentence is everyone was fixated on her. Fixated means fix. It's fixated is an adjective. It's it belongs to the family of what fix. So when somebody is fixated on something, it means that they are talking about this, they are discussing this. So everyone was fixated, it means everyone was discussing him or her. Why? Because she was dressed to kill. So this is another idiom, dressed to kill. Dressed to kill means that he wore a sumptuous dress. He was in a fancy dress. Next sentence is I pleaded mercy. This is another word. For some it might be familiar, for some, but for the most of the students, it's a foreign, unfamiliar word. I pleaded mercy means I requested for mercy, but my request fell on deaf ears. When somebody is deaf, it means he or she is not listening. So when something fell on deaf ears, it means that he or she is not paying attention to what is being said. So he ignored the request of mercy. I pleaded mercy, but my request fell on deaf ears. This is another idiom, fell on deaf ears, when somebody is not paying attention to somebody, or somebody is ignoring his or her request, as he refused to budge. Budge is another word for vocabulary booster. Budge means moved, means influenced. So he refused to budge means that he was not influenced, he did not move. Next is he could afford the watch, but only with a 5-finger discount. This is an idiom. 5-finger discount means that when you steal something, means you steal with your 5 fingers, you just steal it with your 5 finger. So this is idiom from that context. You steal with your fingers. So when a 5-finger discount means, it means stealing. So he couldn't afford the watch, and only he could afford the watch because he stole it. The last word is, it is hard to believe that a small fender bender. Fender is what? It's a part of the part of a car, the front, the front upper part of what front wheel. So fender bender is an idiom. It means that when the front, the area above your tire is dented, it means a small accident. So fender bender is a kind of accident, minor accident, when your fender is bent. It is hard to believe that a small fender bender can cause a traffic jam. So these are the idioms. So idioms and vocabulary items. So you need to memorize them. Vocabulary. So side by side, your vocabulary will be boosted, and simultaneously the storehouse of your idiomatic expression will get a boost. That's for it. Thank you very much.